Today, we're diving into something really tough, something no community ever wants to face,
Yeah.
but maybe every community should be prepared for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine a school, a vibrant place, suddenly grappling with the unimaginable, a profound loss.
It's devastating.
And it's completely natural to feel just, well, utterly overwhelmed.
Of course.
But what if there was a strategic way to navigate this, to sort of transform that potential chaos into structured, compassionate support?
That's exactly what we're here to unpack today. We're doing a deep dive into a vital concept called postvention.
Oh, intervention, okay.
Simply put, it's the provision of crisis intervention, support, and assistance after a traumatic event, particularly a death.
Right, after it happens.
It's about having a ready framework, when the unthinkable happens, not scrambling.
And our mission for you, our listener, is to
Yeah.
give you a really clear understanding of what proactive planning for these traumatic loss events looks like, specifically in school communities.
And when you hear that, maybe you first think of, well, death by suicide. But these plans are actually much broader, aren't they?
They really are. I mean, tragically, other kinds of traumatic deaths, like traffic accidents, are actually more common. So these plans are designed to help schools respond appropriately, really regardless of the specific circumstances. So let's get right into the why then. Why should a school dedicate, precious time and resources to planning for something so difficult and hopefully quite rare?
Well, it seems counterintuitive, maybe, but the immediate benefit is actually about maintaining control, or maybe regaining it quickly. Think about those first 24 hours after a tragedy. Without a plan, even the best intentions can clash, right? You get fragmented support, maybe prolonged trauma.
Right, everyone rushing in, but maybe not coordinated.
Precisely. Postvention planning allows schools to pivot from that initial shock to a structured, unified response, sometimes within hours.
Oh, absolutely. Let's
Oh,
unpack it.
Okay.
First off, just think about preparedness and the immediate response. When something traumatic happens, the natural human response can sometimes be paralysis, right? Confusion spreads.
Yeah, total chaos, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. But having a plan means the school can act right away, effectively,
Yeah.
efficiently. It minimizes that initial shockwave, you could say, and reinforces a sense of order, which is crucial. It allows the school to respond with purpose, not just react.
Acting, not just reacting, makes sense. And it's clearly not just about helping, a few people right in the immediate moment.
No, that's a really important point. The impact is broad. You need to think about support for everyone.
Students, obviously, but who else?
Faculty, absolutely. Ancillary staff,
Mm.
parents too. Planning helps anticipate how all these different groups might respond, what they might need,
Okay, so it's thinking ahead about the whole community's needs.
which leads right into efficient crisis management. I mean, a crisis really starts the second a death occurs. Without some kind of framework, you're instantly playing catch-up.
Right.
So having clear communication protocols, who talks to who, what gets said, having organized roles, even templates for releasing limited verified information. All of that prevents misinformation from spreading, it reduces anxiety, and it reinforces that perception that the school is steady, even when things feel out of control.
And I imagine that helps if you need to communicate with other schools, like in the same district.
Oh, significantly. It simplifies
Yeah.
that whole process immensely. But honestly, that immediate management, that's really just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting then. The wider impact.
Exactly. The ripple effects are huge. Think about minimizing disruption to education. A structured approach, one that always prioritizes student safety, means you keep academic disruption as low as possible.
Obviously, it'll still be tough for some kids that day.
Of course, maintaining continuity will be hard for some, but for the broader school community, an organized plan helps keep things moving. Then there's coordinating with external agencies.
Like police or mental health services.
Precisely.
Because trauma often ripples out into the wider community, planning in advance for how you'll collaborate with these groups is vital.
So they're part of the plan from the start, not an afterthought.
Correct. It integrates them into your strategy. Think about community groups the deceased might have been involved with, too.
Makes sense. And then there's the whole legal and ethical minefield.
Oh, absolutely. Navigating a traumatic death involves specific legal things like privacy laws, FERPA, for example.
All right.
And just as importantly, deep ethical considerations. Cultural sensitivities, respecting the dignity of the deceased, the family's wishes.
That all needs thinking through beforehand when heads are clearer.
Precisely.
And finally, here's something powerful, maybe a bit counterintuitive. the process of creating a post-vention plan. It often highlights vulnerabilities you didn't even know existed in your school community.
How so?
It's like you're stress testing your emotional infrastructure before an earthquake hits. You might find weak spots, areas needing support that weren't obvious before.
So planning for the aftermath actually helps with prevention in a way.
In a very real way, yes.
Mm.
It can reveal risks before they escalate into crises. Plus, having a plan makes it easier to delegate tasks. That frees up administrators, like the principal, to handle the unexpected things that always pop up.
We're familiar with emergency teams for, say, fires or intruders, safety issues, but who responds to the emotional needs, the systemic needs, after a trauma? This sounds like where the next step comes in.
That's exactly right. This is empowering a school crisis team.
Why a specific team? Can administrators handle it?
Well, administrators simply can't be everywhere at once. And after an event like this, many people across the school might need support simultaneously. Plus, students often respond better, feel more comfortable, getting support from people they already know and trust, rather than outsiders.
Okay, so a dedicated internal team makes sense. What makes for an effective team?
They need to be members of the school community, trained to understand the specific needs of a school in crisis. Their approach should be grounded in theory, best practices, but also reflect the school's specific culture and diversity. They also learn to anticipate things down the road, like anniversaries or graduation, events that might reactivate trauma, and help guide the school through those too.
So who's typically on this team? Is it all counselors?
Not necessarily. It's usually a mix, leveraging existing strengths. It could include administrators, definitely counselors and resource staff, school nurses, social workers, but even operations or facility staff can be valuable members.
And how do they get trained?
Typically, they go through training based on a best practices post-vention model. The Suicide Prevention Center of New York, for instance, offers this kind of training. Often it's something like 6 one-hour interactive sessions, maybe spread out over the school year, delivered without tech, free of charge, and with ongoing support.
So they become the boots on the ground.
Exactly. They're your trained responders working together to support the school's overall agenda during a difficult time. Their key role is helping maintain that predictability and stability, crucial elements in crisis intervention.
Okay, so you have this fantastic team. They're trained. They're ready to handle the logistics and support. What does the school leader, the principal, still need to do? What's their role in supporting this team?
Oh, the leader's role is absolutely critical, even with a great team. They can't function without leadership support. First, the team needs your unwavering public support, acknowledgement of their vital role to the school board, to the whole community.
Makes sense. They need that backing.
They also need practical administrative support, things like supplies, designated space for grieving students or staff, the basics. Then, after the immediate crisis passes, follow-up and debriefing are essential.
Talking about what happened.
Yes, and being genuinely open to the team's perspective. What went well? What could we do better next time? Learning from the experience. And finally, just making time every year for the team to review the plan, maybe run through a scenario. It signals your ongoing commitment to this vital process.
This has been really insightful. It feels like while postvention is never going to be easy, this proactive planning, thinking it through beforehand,
Yeah,
it definitely makes it less daunting.
it absolutely does. It's about facing the unthinkable, but with a clear head and a prepared heart, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, there was a powerful analogy in one of the sources we looked at.
Oh, yeah.
It's a proactive postvention planning is like creating a detailed flight plan before taking off into a storm.
Okay, I like that.
You obviously hope the storm never comes. But if it does, having that plan, knowing your crew, understanding your procedures, it means you can navigate the turbulence with far greater control. Bring everyone to a safer landing, minimizing the damage along the way.
That's a really great way to put it, a detailed flight plan for the storm.